future. Curtain lights, this is it. We'll hit the heights, and oh, what heights we'll hit. On with the show, this is it.
Absolutely, it is On with the Show. You are listening to the Mr. Judd Show, the one and only. I guarantee you smiled when you heard that music. How can you not? How can you not smile? Did you listen to the news update by CBS News, which we are the exclusive here at Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240 to CBS News? They were talking about that 30 minutes a day of exercise is not good enough anymore. They want you to do at least 2 to maybe 4 times. So you're doing an hour, 2 hours of exercise a day. Nothing else, you'll sleep well because you're going to be tired. Hey, you can follow us at hotnewstalkradio.com. Maybe you have to go to work. Maybe you are at home. Best way to reach us. I mean, best way to hear us all the time, hotnewstalkradio.com. You can do, actually what I did yesterday is I went into North Georgia. I listened to us on the TuneIn app. I was down toward Calhoun, and so I listened to us on the TuneIn app. Very simple. Just download it on your smartphone, type in Hot News Talk Radio 1240 AM, and you can listen to us anywhere at any time. And be sure and follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. It's Hot News Talk Radio. Very simple. You know, you can follow us on Twitter. You can keep up with what's going on and some other stuff. And then on Facebook, where you can leave a comment or two. Do not forget that here and at the second break, I'm going to have the one and only, the great DT. David himself is going to come in here and kind of give us an update on the SmackDown from last night. The Quran. We had a Christian guy and a Muslim guy kind of spell out if the Quran was a violent book or a book of peace. And David was there, so he'll kind of give us a quick update on that. Just touch on a few sports things. Won't get too big into that. The Chattanooga Mocs are ranked the highest they've ever ranked this week in the poll for Division II is what I'm going to call it. I know it has that subdivision or what it's Division II. They are ranked 6th. And the team that beat the Mocs at the beginning, barely beat the Mocs at the beginning of the season, Jacksonville State, is ranked number 1. So the Mocs, you know, now we can say that they lost to the number 1 team in the country, and the Mocs are number 6. That's the highest ranking to our Chattanooga football Mocs, and congratulations to them. The other big thing is the playoffs start in Major League Baseball. They start tonight. And, you know, they went to this 2 wild card teams, and the 2 that made it in the American League were the Houston Astros and the New York Yankees, and they have a 1-game playoff tonight. It's going to be tonight at 8 o'clock, where Houston will actually be at New York to play, and the winner of that goes in to the round as the wild card team to the American League playoffs. And then tomorrow night, we have the National League playoffs. We have the Chicago Cubs at the Pittsburgh Pirates, and that's going to be a pretty good game. I think that's going to be a really good game. Both of those teams have had a heck of a season and played very well, and so we want to you know, watch that one. That's going to be tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. As once again it's a 1-game playoff. That's the way these first 2 games are. One, you lose, you go home. You win, you go into the National League or either the American League playoffs. So we'll be keeping up with that for you, because October is the month for baseball and its playoffs, and then to crown a world champion. So tonight's the New York Yankees and the Houston Astros, and then tomorrow is the Chicago Cubs and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Just kind of scanning around this morning, looking, seeing what's going on in this world. There's a new business that's actually coming and about to open in East Brainerd, and it's called Breakout Chattanooga. Now, there's one similar to it downtown, and it's called the Southside Escape Experience, and I found this on Nooga.com. It says a new Chattanooga business recently opened that provides an adventure scenario for participants and challenges them to break out of a room in 1 hour by solving puzzles and cooperating with other team members. I wonder if that's like the, you know, like the 1,300-piece puzzle of the Eiffel Tower or something. You have to put that together in an hour. No, I don't think that's it. It says the current available scenario is one that you and your friends wake up handcuffed in a strange room. You've naked, been shaved, and someone's written all over your body. No, I added that. But a handcuffed in a strange room. You've been kidnapped, and you use clues in the room to escape. You have 1 hour. If you get totally stuck, employees who are monitoring the game will give you a clue. Now, this experience is going to be $24 per person. They say it's ideal for groups, work groups, maybe church groups, maybe just individuals. I know when I mentioned this article, David Tulis said we should do it as a radio station. And so he's trying to get everybody ready. He wants to do this as a radio station, and we'll get Confederate Mike in there and DT himself. We'll have the adolescent. And then, of course, we'll have news director Russell Stroud, which if you've ever seen them, they look a lot alike. The only difference really is that our news director has this old gnarled up finger with warts all over it. That's really the only way you can tell the adolescent and news director Russell Stroud. But we'd have Keon, the guy from Clutch, which is on from 1 to 2. We'd have Cowboy Tex in there. I mean, this would be just a huge fun. We need to do that. It's not only about escape, it's about the full experience, according to Breakout Chattanooga website. And see, I think this is a cool new business. I mean, this would be a lot of fun. Escape rooms are a growing trend around the United States, says CNBC reported last year. And then the Washington Post also reported on the craze, which has popped up in cities from Seattle to Vancouver. And there are also some close to us in Knoxville and in Lexington, Kentucky. So I know this would be a lot of fun. I mean, especially with Halloween around the corner. You have the one downtown, and I know it's been pretty successful. And now the one here, let me give you the address. It is 7540 East Brainerd Road. So it's in the heart of East Brainerd. I believe that's where the old Food Lion used to be, or in that area. So if you know East Brainerd Road, pretty cool. Breakout Chattanooga, they are open. Promote them just a little bit, and their website is breakoutchattanooga.com. breakoutchattanooga.com. Pretty good website. And you know what? You're free to go by that website at any time. I know a lot of the websites today, you need to make an appointment, and some of them you have to schedule weeks in advance. They said this website, Breakout Chattanooga, is free to visit at any time. So go there, find something. It'd be great if you have the kids are out for fall break. This will give them something to do. Maybe you're tired of them laying around playing video games and watching cartoons. So you gather them up in the little minivan and you haul them over to Breakout Chattanooga. And, you go to their website. You can even book online. I can see this good for church groups. What a nice way if you've got a kid that's over, they're 12, 15 years old, something like that. Be a good birthday party scenario. And no, I've not been there, nor do I know anyone that's been there, but it just seems like it's pretty cool. There's a $2 off coupon if you go to their website, breakoutchattanooga.com. So I just thought I'd pass that along. I thought that was a pretty neat thing. Okay. Last night we had the SmackDown part 1. Tonight it's part 2. And it's about tonight is going to be about the Bible. Is the Bible a peaceful book, or is the Bible a non-peaceful book? Just like they did the Quran. And it starts at 6:30. It's at Dietrich Lecture Hall on UTC campus. And that is right next to the new library, I believe. I believe you're looking at it, it's on the left. They have instructions for free parking down there too. Now, the one and only, the great DT himself, the David, was down there last night. I'm going to bring him in on my second segment. And he and I are he's going to just give you some highlights and some tidbits that happened down there. I think this is a pretty good debate. It's pretty important at this time with everything that's going on, not only in the world, but also, what's going on here in Chattanooga. And just last night, scanning around, and Homeland, which is a pretty popular show on Showtime, the beginning scene of Homeland, we talked about yesterday on this program about Russia's going to send 150,000 troops into Syria. Well, the beginning scene of Homeland, they were interviewing a CIA agent, and they asked him what should be done about Syria. And he said there's 2 options. And they're looking at it from the United States perspective. And so the first option was to have 200,000 troops go in and have that many boots on the ground to kick ISIS out, and put Syria back on the right path, or to nuke it. Now, think about this. That show was probably made 9, 11, 12 months ago. Maybe Putin just got the inside, he got a free viewing on it a couple of weeks ago and decided to take their advice. Who knows? But it is pretty funny that one of the shows now is relative to what's going on and the fact that what was making headline news yesterday. You're listening to Hot News Talk Radio. This is the Mr. Judd Show. A great honor will be held by me in the next segment, straight from the hottest show on Hot News Talk Radio, the David Tulis Show, the editor of Nooganomics.com, the one and only David Tulis himself will grace our show and give us an update on the smackdown on the Quran last night.
After this milestone, another dry and warm day out there for your Tuesday. Pretty nice with partly cloudy skies, highs later on 80 to 82. Tonight, fair, comfortable lows into the upper 50s. For the midweek, looking good through Thursday, dry with some sunshine and highs of around 80. For lunch or dinner, come to Guthrie's, home of the original golden fried delicious chicken finger with their special world famous sauce. Open daily locations in Trenton, Signal Mountain, and Ringgold. Go get Guthrie's. It's always good. And I'm WDEF News 12 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Hoare. On AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
The Fed raising rates, China's economy in trouble. Don't let headlines derail your long-term financial strategy. I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Patrick Neal. At Edward Jones, we provide the tools for a reasoned, disciplined approach to investing. Stop by my office next to the Target Shopping Center in Hickson, or call me at 423-870-7894. That's Patrick Neal at 870-7894. Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
Here you are, working to keep your customers happy and to manage your cash flow. IRS problems are the last thing you need, but here they are, flapping about you like vultures. Get help from Eric Pelton and his team of accountants at E.J. Pelton Company. Audits, letters, proposed return changes, 1099s, penalty threats. Pelton Tax Resolution Services brings peace of mind and helps you keep more of what you've earned. EJPelton.com. Offices on Brainerd Road and in Saudi Daisy, just north of the Bilo. That's E.J. Pelton. Call 622-3156. Think ahead. 622-3156.
Hey, all you gun enthusiasts! Carter Shooting Supply has just bought a crazy load of guns and is having a crazy huge sale event. Going on now, a huge inventory of Smith & Wesson, Glock, Ruger, and Taurus all on sale. Taurus guns have a mail-in rebate for $25 to $50. All long guns and all ammo on sale too, just in time for hunting season. Come in and take advantage of this crazy huge sale event. Going on now at Carter Shooting Supply. Or shop from home by going to CarterShootingSupply.com. Highway 58, Harrison. Check our prices before you buy.
Are you tired of working in corporate America, or have you recently lost your job and would like to consider owning your own business? If you are, please call me, as I can help you look at franchises or business opportunities that fit you, the economy that we're in, and the type of businesses that are right in the greater Chattanooga area. After I help my clients find the right opportunity, I also help them find the best way to finance the business, including paying yourself through the startup phase. If you would like to learn more about opportunities that may be right for you, please call me for a free assessment. My name is Bruce Krebs at the Entrepreneur Source. Phone number is 423-875-5621.
If you have the DTs, the shakes, because your phone is on the fritz, you have nomophobia. You need help. Your telecom doctor is in. Cell Surgeon at Northgate Mall. Cell Surgeon yanks open the ribcage of your phone, pries out the dead heart, and puts in the beating life that you lead on your cell phone. Broken screen, phone not charging, water damage, battery given out? Cell Surgeon at Northgate Mall next to Old Chicago Pizza. Check us out on Facebook. Open Sunday. Cell Surgeon. We bring your phone back to life. Mention Hot News Talk Radio and get 10% off.
This is America Now with Meghan McCain.
Al Gore running is crazy. You're flying around in your private jet all over the world, and you want average Americans to care about the environment. Don't you think you should be doing your part as well?
Meghan McCain, weekdays at 7 p.m.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Ooh, baby, it's the Mr. Judd Show.
Yes, it is. And as I said before the break, an honored guest will be joining me in just a moment. You're listening to Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240, and my honored guest was at the Smackdown, the Quran Smackdown last night. Remember, I took the Bible plus the 21 points, and right now my bet is looking darn good. I am pleased and honored to have the one and the only DT, Mr. David Tulis himself. David, how are you doing?
For such a mild-mannered editor as I am, the welcome is overly large and expansive and takes up too much room, Eric. So,
and that's what I do. That's kind of the way I live my life.
Well, there were two scholars yesterday at UTC in Durthick Hall, David Wood and Shabir Ali. Both of them are doctors. The Christian David Wood is an ex-atheist and a Christian philosopher. And Dr. Shabir Ali is a man of great note who's a kind of apologist for a mild and moderate version of Islam, and from Toronto. And he had a great flowing beard that preceded him, kind of laid the groundwork for the great flowing words of praise that came from his analysis of the Quran as a book of peace. And that was the question, Eric, is the Quran a book of peace tonight? Is there more of this tonight?
Absolutely. And what are they going to talk about?
Tonight the question is the Bible a book of peace? And now tonight, David Wood, the Christian apologist, will be on the defensive, as Shabir Ali yesterday was clearly on the defensive, with most of the quotes from the Quran coming from the Christian.
Right. How was the crowd? Was there a good crowd down there?
It was full. The Durthick Hall auditorium, I guess, would hold about 250 people or 230, and every seat was taken. There were some spotted empties in the bleachers, if you will, but people were sitting in the along the stairway going up.
And who won last night? Did the Christian or the Muslim win last night?
I think the Christian won because of the argument of what's called abrogation. Abrogation, it was argued this way. Abrogation, according to the Christian understanding, is that the militant, warlike, bloody parts of the Quran, which are about a third of it, are later in their having been added to the volume.
Right.
They're
toward the end of the Quran.
They're toward the end, and they came later, even if they are scattered through the body of the type of the many chapters, and they supersede and abrogate the earlier peaceful, religiously oriented rhetoric, if you will, the religious talk of the earlier parts. But Dr. Ali's defense was, well, no, the abrogation you're talking about is not of one part of the Quran against the other, but of the Quran replacing the revelation of God, or of Allah, as they say, of Abraham, Moses, Christ, St. Paul, and St. John. Those are revelations that are earlier, and they have been superseded by the 6th century or the 4th century, I forget which, revelations of God to Muhammad, his prophet.
Right. So, okay. So, and tonight the Bible's going to be on the defensive, and he will be defending the Bible.
That's right. Is the Bible a book of peace, or is it full of bloody mayhem and genocide? And Dr. Wood will say, yes, there are genocides ordered by the people of God, the Israelites, against people such as the Amalekites, Philistines, the city of Jericho, if you recall, and others were to have been completely destroyed down to the last female child. Okay, every last child was to have been destroyed under God's direct command to the Israelites, to Joshua and others, to eliminate entirely from the face of the earth the wicked. And so, because often the Israelites did not do as God commanded, they were judged and punished for it. But now, in the new covenant with Christ's resurrection, the operation of God's kingdom is quite different. It is entirely pacific. In other words, peaceful.
Right. All right. Well, you're going to be down there tonight?
I don't believe so. I have other commitments.
Okay, you have other commitments tonight, but I'm sure David will have an update on his show tomorrow from 9 to 11 here on AM 1240.
Durthick Hall is right next to the new library. It's on the same level, and it's the second auditorium. You'll find your way up there, and it starts at 6:30 and goes till about 9. It's very interesting, and the Eric Judd listener
will want to be down there because it's a smackdown tonight. The Muslims are going to try to smack down the Bible. I'm still taking the Bible and the plus 21 because I think they're going to win. Thank you so much, David, for being part of the show, as always. And, get down. If you can get down there and be part of that, absolutely get down there. I was surprised to hear how many people, when I was talking to David off the air, how many people were there. And, that's good. I like that. I like that, and he said there were probably more Christians than Muslims, but there was a large contingent of Muslims down there. And I think it's good. If we're talking, and I'm not, all of a sudden he's going to become a liberal. No. But even if you are engaging in conversation, you don't have to agree, and you can disagree totally and vehemently. But, as long as we're talking and learning, and that's the thing, I'm a Christian. I can learn all I want to about the Muslim faith, but I'm still a Christian, and I'm pretty strong in my faith. And like David said, I think Christ made it pretty simple for people. He said, look, all of this other stuff, all of this stuff you're reading, and the Pharisees are wanting to get into this, that, and these nuances, you don't get it. It's simple. You love God first, and you love each other. That's pretty simple. 2 things. You got that? These 2 things? Can you get this? If you can get those concepts, you really don't have to worry about all the minutia of this other stuff. There you go. You got little words of wisdom on the Mr. Judd Show today. I got all kinds of stuff to talk about. We might be talking about old Slick Willie. We're going to talk about the Barack Hussein Obama a little bit. We're going to talk about Kathleen Willey. Remember Kathleen Willey? From Bill Clinton's past. She may come back to haunt Hillary. She's going to in the haunting season of October. Kathleen Willey will be haunting Hillary. That's funny. Willie's going to be haunting Hillary. Anyway, all the political thing that's going on, I mean, it's just a mess. And then our great Senator Bob Corker, they're having a huge police conference here, and he basically said in a nutshell yesterday, hey, we're gathering all of this technology information, and you should give us more. I mean, no big deal. Just let us have it all. We need it to keep you safe, which I'd call on that. So anyway, we got a lot to talk about in the next half hour. I want to remind everybody that tomorrow, the Chattanooga Sports Institute, the doctor will be in the house. Dr. Danielle Mitchell will be here between 11 and noon tomorrow. And I'm sure she's going to be highlighting the big, huge Ironman competition she was actually in. I'm sure she's going to give you some highlights and stuff on that. So make sure you catch her tomorrow. Make sure you catch David's show in the morning from 9 to 1, because I know that he will be giving you an update on the big smackdown at UTC tonight. You're listening to the Mr. Judd Show. This is Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. The hottest, the newsiness, the talkingest radio station in this city.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
Fox News Talk 1240.
After this milestone, another dry and warm day out there for your Tuesday. Pretty nice with partly cloudy skies, highs later on 80 to 82. Tonight, fair, comfortable lows into the upper 50s. For the midweek, looking good through Thursday, dry with some sunshine and highs of around 80. For lunch or dinner, come to Guthrie's, home of the original golden fried delicious chicken finger with their special world famous sauce. Open daily locations in Trenton, Signal Mountain, and Ringgold. Go get Guthrie's. It's always good. And I'm WDEF News 12 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Hoare. On AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
Social media, we're on that. Hot News Talk Radio on Facebook, at Hot News Talk Radio on Twitter. Download the TuneIn app and follow us anywhere at any time. AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
Compass Media Network's coverage of the NFL. Hi, this is Jerry Recco. Join Kevin Ray, Danny White, and myself for all the action.
Hot News Talk 1240.
If it's the NFL, it's right here.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
Hot News Talk 1240.
If the South would have won, we'd have had it made. I'd probably run for president of the southern states. The day Elvis passed away would be our national holiday. If the South would have won, we'd have had it made.
NASCAR, Laura Ingraham, David Tulis, Coast to Coast AM, and CBS Radio News. Chattanooga's news, talk, and sports leader.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pat O'Neill. The top U.S. commander in Afghanistan says patience is called for to determine how many troops to keep there past 2016. General John Campbell tells the Senate Armed Services panel,
the Afghans welcome the opportunity to shape their destiny, but they still desire, need, and deserve our assistance.
Campbell also said the recent U.S. airstrike on a hospital in the north that killed 22 was a mistake. 13 now confirmed dead from floods in the Carolinas. The rains have stopped, but
328 roads across the state still remain closed. A total of 19 dam breaches so far, about half of those in the Midland section of South Carolina.
Fox's Jonathan Seary in Forest Acres, South Carolina. An NTSB team headed to Florida to study debris from a sunken cargo ship that went went down in Hurricane Joaquin near the Bahamas. Fox News. We report, you decide.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Ooh, baby, it's the Mr. Judd Show.
So far, I am clothed. But if she asks,
take it on. Take it all on.
no, she didn't ask, she demanded. So I don't guess I have a choice. You know, you go from juggling cats in the break to
Nothing takes it off
like me. Nothing. Well, I guess I have to take it off now. I have to take it off since she has demanded that I've taken it off. So during the show, you've heard of the nakednews.com. Well, I guess this is going to be Hot News Talk Radio. I will disrobe as I do my show. So see, if you're watching us on YouTube, there's no telling what you're liable to see. You'd have seen me juggle 5, get it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cats, and they love it. They love it. So all the PETA people, just calm down. They love it. If you were watching us live on YouTube, and I appreciate all the thousands of people that watch me live every day. Give you the old thumbs up right now. And if you missed the show, you can always go to YouTube. It's Hot News Talk Radio at youtube.com. And boom, right there, you can catch any show you want to. Maybe the digital drive yesterday, you were doing something and you wanted to hear what the adolescent was talking about on the digital drive, which he's live here on AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio every day from noon to 1. Or maybe you miss the sobbing, the crying, the wailing, the gnashing of teeth that happened on Clutch, where Keon Rose was so distraught about his Texas Longhorns that he had really no idea what to do. And so if you missed that, you can go on YouTube and see that. Of course, we're on Twitter and we're on Facebook. It's all Hot News Talk Radio. Texas top cop. ISIS may infiltrating the border. Really? Really? This is news? I mean, this should have been news when all of this was happening last year. But at least it's coming out now. At least it's coming out. The director who oversees the Texas State Troopers says people from other countries known to have terrorism presence have already been caught on the Texas-Mexican border. Well, you know, when you just leave the darn thing wide open, when that door is open, kind of like a website, when you just, hey, leave it wide open, anyone's liable to stroll across the border. And of course, Barack Hussein Obama, a Muslim sympathizer, is, hey, y'all come on in. Hey, yeah, come on in. It's great. You know, Steve McCraw, and this is from Infowars.com, which I'm sure a lot of people know that website. Steve McCraw, director of the Texas Department of Public Safety, who supervises the Texas Highway Patrol and state troopers, warned Sunday in an annual Texas Border Coalition meeting that the vulnerabilities at the southern border may leave Americans open to possible terrorist attack. Individuals that come across the Texican-Mexican border from other countries with a known terrorism presence. And the answer to that is yes, he says, over the weekend when he stated as suspected ISIS terrorists are already in the United States. Really? Really? And here's something to kind of back that up. Now, this is from brettbart.com. A new report shows that languages spoken in Muslim countries are surging in the U.S. household, thanks to a larger part of immigration from Muslim nations. Now, Barack Hussein Obama, who says he's a Christian, just stop and think, because anytime a sitting president goes to church, it's big news. When was the last time that Barack Hussein Obama went to church? Because you know it'd be all over. Now, they'd really promote him because there's already, I mean, you got Trump questioning him. You had Hillary question if he's a Christian or not. You've got, you know, other presidential candidates out there. When was the last time that you've seen on the network broadcast, and they would be all giddy and all falling over themselves, when Barack Hussein Obama and his family went to church? Now, there's a couple of articles out there that I was reading, kind of following up, because I wanted to know. I can't find in anywhere, any place that he's been in 2015. Now, in 2012, he said that he and his family respect the other people trying to worship, so they don't necessarily go to church. Come on. What a lame excuse. And then the one Christian church that he is connected to in Chicago is probably not, I'm going to guess that their theme is not, love God first and love everybody else second. In fact, I don't know who they love. Anyway, I just think it's odd. All of a sudden, he's not a Muslim. That's questioned. In 2008, political correctness jumped in. Everybody jumped on you. But does he act like a Christian? And I think it's backed up by showing our borders are open. We let anybody come in we want to. And if you say anything about it, you're the bad person. The finger gets pointed at you. We've got ISIS terrorists coming across, probably Al-Qaeda terrorists. No telling what's coming across those borders because they're not secure. And we have to let them in. I have to let them in, And if you think differently, you're a bad, horrible person. You don't care. And then this report comes out that language spoken in Muslim countries are surging in U.S. household. 2014 data from the American Community Survey reveals that Arabic and Urdu, Pakistan's national language, is the fastest growing foreign languages spoke at home, according to a new report by the Center of Immigration Studies. A record 63.2 million U.S. residents, or more than 1 in 5, speak a language other than English when at home. After 5 decades of large-scale immigration, according to the Census Bureau, authorized by the Center of Immigration Studies, the data was shown that 41%, or 25.6 million of the residents, have difficulty speaking English. Think about that. Barack Hussein Obama. And then, of course, he announces yesterday that he's going to go to Rosenberg, Oregon, and they're not really happy about it. The people of Rosenberg are not that happy about it. And this comes from Newsbusters. This is items found in the Associated Press. New York Times and Washington Post is reporting that President Hussein Obama plans to visit Rosenberg, Oregon later this week. It says that the residents really aren't happy about that. Of course, he's going there to politicize the shooting because we need to ban guns, because then we won't have any more shootings. Even though, as far as I know, I'm sure that Rosenberg, Oregon, murder is a crime, but the guy still murdered him. And it's well known that the guy looked for places where they did not have armed security guards. Maybe if they'd had armed security guards, he wouldn't have gone there. Maybe we need to be armed. Maybe that's really why that is in our Constitution, is not to be able to hunt and kill Bambi, but so that the government will fear each and every one of us, because we should all be armed. As and look, Carter Shooting Supply right now is having a huge sale. It's a humongous sale. You need to get down there. Plus, they're having a sale on, your class to get your permit, to get your sidearm permit. Go down there. You need to go to Carter Shooting Supply. Everybody knows where they're at. They're on 58 Highway, right down there before you get to Island Cove Marina on the right. You just can't beat them. So what I want you to do is just go down and talk to them, because you need to be armed. Because what's going to stop these crazies? 2 things. First of all, we don't make it a public spectacle the way all the news media does. We don't give the guy's name, any information about his family, nothing. We say it happened, and that's it. That will stop most of it. And what doesn't stop it, then we're all armed. If every good citizen of this United States is armed and legal to carry, more and more of these nuts are going to stop and think about, maybe I shouldn't do that. If that guy can shoot back at me, this might not be as much fun. But Barack Hussein Obama, he is going to go and make this a public spectacle. And the heck with these families grieving. He really doesn't care about them. That's because he's a good Christian. He's always going to church, and that's what Christ taught, was to care about other people. But he really doesn't. He wants to make his point about gun control. He's going to strike while the iron is hot, as they say. But yet, what's going on in Chicago? Chicago's violence in September was especially brutal. I mean, it's going from, and this is from the Chicago Tribune. It's horrible in Chicago right now. I mean, just horrible. Violent September in Chicago ended with more homicides than any other month this year, and the second most shootings, according to data kept by the Chicago Tribune's breaking news desk. Has he gone to Chicago? Has he talked to his buddy there, the mayor? Hey, man, what's going on? Talking about mass shootings. And this is black on black crime, most of it. It's gangs killing gangs. He should be very concerned about that, but that's really not a good political issue. He really can't get anything out of that. So what is he going to do? He's going to run to these grieving families, and he's going to use them the way only Barack Hussein Obama can. He is our community organizer in chief, the one and only. You're listening to the Mr. Judd Show. This is Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. So what in the world is Bill Clinton up to? You don't ever know, do you? I could take a guess. Follow us at Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Very simple, Hot News Talk Radio. On Twitter, you report. Chattanooga and the world will decide.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
After this milestone, another dry and warm day out there for your Tuesday. Pretty nice with partly cloudy skies, highs later on 80 to 82. Tonight, fair, comfortable lows into the upper 50s. For the midweek, looking good through Thursday, dry with some sunshine and highs of around 80. For lunch or dinner, come to Guthrie's, home of the original golden fried delicious chicken finger with their special world-famous sauce. Open daily locations in Trenton, Signal Mountain, and Ringgold. Go get Guthrie's. It's always good. And I'm WDEF News 12 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Orr. On AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
This is Judy Gammon, author of the award-winning book, Age to Perfection, How to Thrive to 100, Happy, Healthy, and Wise. And this is your Stay Young Medical Minute. Testosterone deficiency affects 50 million American men. While male hormones such as testosterone are important to sex drive, they're also important to bone health, mental clarity, and muscle strength. If you've been feeling tired, having trouble concentrating, or you feel as though you're not as strong as you used to be, talk to your physician about lab tests that can check your testosterone levels. Be sure to have both your total testosterone and your free testosterone checked to get a better picture not only of how much hormone you have, but your body's ability to use it. And as for you ladies, I bet you didn't know that you need testosterone too. Testosterone levels in women can take a nosedive in the 30s, causing weight gain, foggy brain, and lack of energy. This is especially true if you took the birth control pill for years. While the women don't need as much as the men, they still need enough to keep their health stable. Part of the reason both men and women seem to have more hormone issues now than they did years ago is due to our sedentary lifestyle, especially on the job. So if you have symptoms, talk to your doctor about having all your hormones checked and balanced if necessary. We want to empower you with as much health information as possible. Visit StayYoungAmerica.com for free podcasts of the Staying Young radio show and free medical minutes. Go to StayYoungAmerica.com.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Are you tired of feeling like just another account number to your financial advisor? Try something refreshingly different. Call Edward Jones Financial Advisor, Patrick Neal, in Hickson at 870-7894. Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
That smells so good. Smells like a big Italian dinner. But you're going to walk out with two. Buy one hot pizza, get a one for free. Two pizzas. You get the two for the price of one at Raphael's Italian Restaurant and Pizzeria. My favorite Italian restaurant of all the time. Now, I'm living in Hickson. I go to Raphael's right down the street in Hickson Pike, right near Highland Plaza. You're in Saudy Daisy? Raphael's Italian Restaurant and Pizzeria in Saudy Daisy. Just next to Saudy Daisy Church of God. Hey, you're in Signal Mountain. There's a Raphael's Italian Restaurant and a Pizzeria. It's right on the main drag. You're going to love the pasta, the pizza. Buy one hot pizza, get a one for free. Two pizzas. You get the two for the price of one at Raphael's Italian Restaurant and Pizzeria. Tastes so good. Bring the whole family. Come on, Raphael's Italian Restaurant and Pizzeria. Mangia. Salute.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Ooh, baby, it's the Mr. Judd Show.
Well, news director Russell Stroud made me put my clothes back on. So, but I told him I'm doing this every day. I don't care. When she tells me to take it off, I'm taking it off. That's just the way it is. Raphael's Pizza commercial has made me hungry. Thank you to our little Italian that works here. Thank you so much. Now I'm hungry. We've still got, 10 or 15 minutes of the show left. You're listening to Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. We are locally owned. We can talk about issues that you want to hear, give you opinions that you like. Plus, at the same time, we're giving you news from CBS, local news, local weather, Fox News. We have NASCAR. Big race Saturday at 7:30. Don't forget about NFL. I promise Thursday I'll go through the NFL games. Remember, just a reminder, tomorrow the Danielle Mitchell will be here from the Chattanooga Sports Institute, and she does a lively show. She's a doctor, and you wouldn't know it. It's a lot of fun, gives you a lot of great information. Danielle, Dr. D does a wonderful job, and she was an Ironman participant. So hopefully she's going to go through that, may have a guest or two talking about maybe 2017, where they're going to have the big national championships here. That's pretty cool. The exclusive zone around the Chernobyl nuclear plant, which was evacuated in 1986 after a devastating explosion and fire, has become a wildlife haven on par with heavily protected nature reserves, scientists have found. Now, this is from the Independent UK. Now, this goes against all of these environmentalists. I mean, think about it. This is just totally against them. You had, Chernobyl, what happened there? They basically had a huge meltdown, and people died. A lot of radiation was put out. And yes, this was about 30 years ago. But think about this. In 30 years, the earth has bounced back. Man didn't do anything. We caused it. We're the evil causer. And if you don't recycle, then we're going to have to all move to Mars, where we may have found water we don't know. A detailed survey of the huge forest area around the stricken plant was revealed that it is teeming with large animals such as elk, roe deer, red deer, wild boar, and wolves, despite contaminated from the radioactive fallout. Well, wild boar, they can live anywhere, so that doesn't surprise me. In fact, you know what? Last night, just a kind of story that kind of goes with us or not, went up to Bradley Central to watch a JV football game, which, you want pure football and you want to see young men learning how to play the sport the way it ought to be played. Go to a JV game sometime. And by the way, all of you people in Cleveland, I know you're listening to us up there. Our signal is wonderful up there. We're at Bradley Central High School. It was great. But so, we go to the game, you get back, I guess, got back about 8:30, it just turned dark, turning in the subdivision there, and a huge coyote runs out in front of us, runs out through, and then runs out the backyard. And he was big. This coyote was big, and it didn't look like a dog, didn't look like a little fox, wasn't like a little red fox that you want, but he was a big coyote. And, I know a lot of people are seeing those around the East Brainerd area. Seen them a lot in Hickson. Coyotes and snakes you're liable to find them everywhere. You probably find them downtown Chattanooga. But I just think it's great how wildlife can adapt to us very quickly. We're the ones that we don't do very well adapting. That's our deal. Okay, back to the article. Scientists found no evidence to support earlier studies suggesting that wildlife in the region has suffered from the radiation released after the Chernobyl accident in 1986, which set plumes of radioactive emissions across much of Northern Europe. They were all going to die. It was over. And guess what? What does the earth do? Man, it bounces back, keeps on going. Nature keeps on going and shows us every day, man, you human beings, you think you're important. You're really not. We're going to do our thing and kind of the heck with you. I think that's a great article. You know, I think it goes with my anti-climate change stuff. Okay, Mr. Bill Clinton. What has he done? Well, this is from the Washington Times. Bill Clinton's White House suppressed evidence that Iran's terrorism. Now, once again, this is going to come back to bite Miss Hillary. Bill Clinton's administration gathered enough evidence to send top-secret communique accusing Iran of facilitating the deadly 1996 Cowboy Towers terrorist bombings, but suppressed that information from the American public and some elements of the U.S. intelligence for fear it would lead to an outcry of reprisal. So they didn't want it. Even at that time, they did not want to, have anything to do with Iran. Now, that's Bill Clinton administration. Now, how is that going to play on our Secretary of State? It says before Clinton left office, the intelligence pointing toward Iran's involvement of the terror attack in Saudi Arabia that killed 19 U.S. servicemen, wounded hundreds, was deemed both extensive and credible, memos showed. So we got information coming out about Bill, which you know what that's for. That's the right-wing conspiracy trying to discredit Hillary. But really, she doesn't need this help. She can discredit herself. So, I mean, I don't think she needs this help at all. Okay, and she does have a problem, and this is from WND. Kathleen Willey vows to haunt Hillary without the campaign. Now, who is Kathleen Willey? For a lot of people, especially the young people, they don't know what all was going on with Clinton's first campaign and his first, when he was president. I mean, he and JFK had a lot of things in common. Kathleen Willey, one of the women caught in the crossfire of alleged sexual harassment by our former president, Bill Clinton, and what she characterizes as an act of intimidation to silence her, announced new plans to haunt Hillary Clinton throughout the 2016 presidential race and beyond. During a radio show Sunday, Willey delivered a message to Clinton. Now, she's delivering a message. Yeah, I tell you what, this is ballsy on her part because, the Clintons usually don't play. You'll end up in a sack or, in somebody's trunk or something. Here's what she says. I'm going to be shadowing every single place you go to remind people, especially young people, young women, college-age students who don't remember any of this. I want them to know all about this because once they do, they're not going to be very proud of supporting her as the first woman president. I would agree. I don't think her husband supports her in that. You've heard me talk about that before. I'm going to haunt her everywhere she goes, Willey states of Clinton. So she's not going to get rid of me ever until Hillary, disappears. I have plans already for New Hampshire. And she said, and this is referring to the Democratic Party primaries. So Kathleen is going to get on it and she's going to bug the living, what, out of Miss Hillary. So I don't think I'd want to be Hillary. Sounds like she's pretty dead set on this. Sounds like she's going to get her, Man, we've covered a bunch on this show. If you missed it, we talked to the great David Tulis. Reminder, his show is in the mornings from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. You need to catch it. He does do all the heavy lifting, as he says. Great. He has Nooganomics.com. I mean, he's a great writer. He's a great talk show host. You need to listen to his show. But he gave us an update on the SmackDown last night with the Quran. Remember, tonight at 6:30 at UTC, it's going to be the attempted SmackDown of the Bible. After me's Digital Drive, the adolescent, don't get him confused with news director Russell. They may look the same. They may almost be twins, but remember, news director Russell has all of those warts and stuff on that right hand. Digital Drives after me from noon to 1. Make sure you catch that. I mean, he takes what could be complicated and what could be maybe, something as simple as the new iPhone coming out, and he explains to you how it can affect you in ways that you've never thought of before. Does an excellent job with that. Then, of course, the first local sports show here in Chattanooga every day is Clutch with Keon Rose, and I believe I'm going to be honored to be on his show to do our picks tomorrow, but Keon will be here. He comes in at 1. He'll be here from 1 to 2. Then after him, we have Laura Ingraham, and then at 3, man, we got the number 2 guy in the nation, Sean Hannity. Will be here from 3 to 5. Don't forget, from 5 to 6, we do a local news show that's going to give you traffic, it's going to give you weather, and it's going to give you local news and breaking news. So you catch up on all the news of the day on your drive home at AM 1240. And then at the same time, we're going to make sure we give you traffic so you can get home safely and quickly. And then if there's any weather, it's absolutely beautiful day out there right now. But if there's any breaking weather, we're going to let you know on that. So you got to listen to Hot News Talk Radio AM 1240 all day. And then don't forget at 6, the most unique show in Chattanooga, Cowboy Up with Tex. So see, you can stay with us all day. There's no reason to either click off the hotnewstalkradio.com or to change your AM dial, or maybe even to turn us off the TuneIn app, because I know you're listening to us on TuneIn. And if you happen to miss something, say you had some old boring meeting or something you have to go to, you can go to YouTube, Hot News Talk Radio on YouTube, and you can catch all your shows there. This is the Mr. Judd Show. Remember, Dr. Danielle Mitchell will be here tomorrow, 11 to noon. I will not. Have a great Tuesday, everybody. Don't worry, I'll be half-clothed and back on the radio Thursday.
After this mild start, another dry and warm day out there for your Tuesday. Pretty nice with partly cloudy skies, highs later on 80 to 82. Tonight, fair, comfortable lows into the upper 50s.